Hey you all, this is Brian and you are watching the Dark Age channel.
Today's video, we're diving into something that's not just interesting but could literally be a lifesaver. Picture this, you wake up one morning to find out that your local grocery store's shelves are bare. I mean, completely empty. Sounds like a scene from a movie, huh? But in today's world, with everything from freak weather events to global pandemics to the upcoming presidential elections, this scenario is becoming more and more of a can happen than a won't happen. So what do you do when you go to spot food and supplies that look like they've been hit by a shopping zombie apocalypse? Panic? Nope, that's not on our list. Instead, we're going to share tips for survival shopping when grocery stores are empty. We're talking about being prepared, but not just with a stash of canned food. Here, we're going way beyond that. So without further ado, let's get into how you can be the MacGyver of grocery shopping in tough times. Let's roll. Number 7. Focus on grains and legumes. When you're stacking your pantry for those just-in-case times, there's something you gotta zero in on. Grains and legumes. I'm talking rice, wheat berries, oats, beans, lentils, the whole shebang. These guys are the unsung heroes of emergency food supplies. Why? Well, let me break it down for you. First off, they're packed with nutrition. Grains and legumes are like the powerhouses of the food world. They're chock full of essential nutrients, giving you the energy and health boost you need, especially when things get tough. Then, there's their versatility. The variety of meals you can whip up with these ingredients is pretty impressive. Rice can be a side, a main dish, or even a dessert. Ever had rice pudding? Beans and lentils? They're great in soups, salads, or even as the star of the show in a hearty chili. Oh, and these foods are like the marathon runners of your pantry. They go the distance. Stored properly, they can last for years without losing their quality. That's a big deal when you're prepping for emergencies. Number 4. Vegan substitutes can be helpful. Let's talk about a cool option in our emergency food playbook, vegan substitutes. Now, whether you're vegan or not, having these alternatives in your pantry can be a game changer, especially when traditional animal products are hard to come by. Nut milk and mashed bananas are just a couple of examples of how versatile these substitutes can be. Nut milk, like almond or cashew, is a fantastic alternative to regular dairy milk. It's great for cereal, coffee, or just to drink by itself. Plus, it usually has a longer shelf life than dairy milk, which is a big plus in emergency situations. And the best part? It's packed with nutrients and a lot lighter on the stomach. Mashed banana is another superstar. It's a great replacement for eggs in baking. So, if you're looking to whip up some pancakes or a quick bread but you're out of eggs, mashed banana can step in and save the day. It adds moisture, binds everything together, and brings a nice natural sweetness to the mix. So yeah, these vegan substitutes can help you maintain a balanced diet and ensure you're not missing out on key nutrients, all while keeping your meals interesting and varied. Number 8. Spices and condiments. When we talk about prepping for emergencies, one thing that often gets overlooked is the flavor department. Yeah, we all know about stocking up on rice, beans, and canned veggies. But let's not forget about spices and condiments. Trust me, they're more than just the icing on the cake. They're the secret sauce that turns blah into aha. Imagine you're in a situation where you're eating the same basic stuff day in, day out. It can get pretty monotonous, right? That's where a good stash of spices and condiments comes into play. A sprinkle of garlic powder, a dash of paprika, or a squeeze of mustard can transform a meal from mundane to mouth-watering. It's all about keeping things interesting on your taste buds. And here's the thing, keeping morale up is super important, especially in prolonged emergency situations. Good-tasting food doesn't just nourish the body, it uplifts the spirit. It's a small comfort that can make a big difference when things are tough. Number 5. Alternative sources of nutrition. So, let's talk about what you do when fresh produce just isn't on the table, literally. Whether it's due to a natural disaster, supply chain issues, or any other emergency, sometimes those fresh fruits, veggies, and meats are just not available. This is where we get creative with our nutrition sources. Enter supplements and protein powders. These are like the understudies waiting in the wings when your star players fresh produce and meats can't make it to the show. Supplements can help fill the gaps in your diet by providing essential vitamins and minerals that you might be missing out on. They're not a perfect substitute, but they're a solid backup plan. Protein powders are another great resource. They can be a big help in maintaining your protein intake, especially when meat is scarce. You can mix them into shakes, blend them into smoothies, or even stir them into your oatmeal or baking recipes. It's all about keeping your protein levels up, which is crucial for staying healthy and keeping your energy up during tough times. Number 9. Unconventional protein sources. All right, let's talk about a survival tip that will sound icky, but hear me out. When we're in a pinch, especially in those extreme situations where the usual food sources are just not available, we've got to think outside the box. And this is where pet food, particularly wet dog food, comes into play. Now, before you scrunch up your nose, let's think about it practically. Wet dog food is packed with protein, and in times of real need, it can be a lifesaver. It's not the most appetizing idea, I know, but survival situations call for some unconventional choices. And when it comes to keeping your strength up, protein is key. Of course, we're talking about a last resort here. This isn't your go-to snack for a Netflix binge, but more like that emergency button you hit when there's absolutely no other option out there. Pet food is designed to be nutritious for our furry friends, and in a bind, it might do the job for us too. Number 3, use coupons and shop sales. When resources are tight, one of the smartest moves you can make is to keep an eye out for sales, clip those coupons, and don't shy away from bulk purchases. First up, sales are your best friend. You know those weekly flyers you get in the mail or the alerts on your favorite store's app? They're more than just paper or notifications. They're a goldmine for deals. When you spot a sale on essentials, that's your cue to stock up. It's all about buying smart and saving where you can. Coupons are another ace up your sleeve. They might seem small, but man, do they add up. Whether it's a digital coupon or old-school clipping from the newspaper, each discount you snag is money saved. And in times of need, every penny counts. Now, let's talk about bulk purchases. When you buy in bulk, you're usually getting a better deal per unit. This is especially true for non-perishables. Think about items like rice, pasta, or canned goods. Buying them in larger quantities can save you a bundle in the long run. Number 10. Shop before the panic. Kicking things off with number 10, we'll dive into the world of smart shopping, especially when things start looking a bit dicey out there. We're talking about those times when the weatherman is forecasting something nasty, or there's some buzz about a potential crisis. In situations like these, the early bird doesn't just get the worm, it gets the whole survival kit. Now think about it. When everyone gets wind of an impending storm or some emergency, what's the first thing they do? They flock to the stores. And before you know it, it's a madhouse aisles jammed, shelves getting bare, and tempers running high. That's a scene you want to avoid. Trust me, the trick is to stay ahead of the game. When you hear about a potential disaster brewing, that's your cue. Get to the store pronto. We're talking essentials here. Water, canned goods, batteries, maybe some comfort snacks. Because hey, why not? By shopping early, you're not just saving yourself from the hassle and the hustle. You're making sure you've got what you need when you need it. Number 1, learn basic food preparation. And lastly, when the going gets tough, knowing how to whip up some basic grub from scratch can be a real game changer. Let's start with bread. There's something almost magical about turning flour, water, and yeast into a loaf of bread. It's not just about the delicious smell wafting through your kitchen, though, let's be real, that's a big plus. It's about having the ability to create something essential, something nourishing, out of a few simple ingredients. And once you get the basics down, you can start getting creative with different types of flour, seeds, or whatever else tickles your fancy. Then there's homemade noodles. They might sound fancy, but they're actually pretty straightforward. A little flour, some eggs, maybe a dash of salt, and you're on your way to pasta town. It's a great skill to have up your sleeve, especially when pasta aisles are bare. And let's not forget about natural sweeteners like honey or molasses. These aren't just for sweetening your tea. They can add depth and richness to your baking, glazes, or even homemade granola. Number 2, consider canning and preserving. Learning to can and preserve food is invaluable. Imagine having jars of fruits, veggies, and even meats lined up in your pantry, ready to go whenever you need them. That's the power of canning. It's like capturing a bit of summertime and keeping it on your shelf for those days when fresh produce is just a dream. And the best part? You know exactly what's in there, because it was you who made it. Learning to can isn't rocket science, but it does take some practice. Once you've got the hang of it, though, it's pretty straightforward. You're basically cooking your food, sealing it in sterilized jars, and then boiling those jars to create a vacuum seal. This process locks in the freshness and keeps the bad stuff out. Preserving food also means you can enjoy your favorite seasonal items all year round. Got a bunch of berries in the summer? Make jam. Tomatoes going crazy in your garden? Time for homemade pasta sauce. The possibilities are endless. Number 6. Healthy fats are crucial. I know the word fat can get a bad rap, but in the world of survival and nutrition, fats like coconut oil, avocado oil, and nuts are absolute gold. These aren't just fillers. They're crucial for keeping your energy up and your body running smoothly. Think about it in an emergency situation. You're likely to be more active, maybe even stressed. Your body's going to need all the fuel it can get, and that's where healthy fats come into play. They're not just a source of calories, they're packed with nutrients that keep you feeling full and focused. And let's talk about versatility. These oils can do wonders in the kitchen. Whether you're frying up some eggs or tossing a salad, coconut or avocado oil can step in where butter usually would. They handle heat well and bring a nice flavor to the table. Plus, nuts, they're like the Swiss Army knife of snacks, great on their own, awesome in trail mixes, and they can add a nice crunch to meals.